Hello, and you've been pulled into the Blakk Dimension. My name is Kev, and we are here to have a discussion about the Netflix film Cuties. Cuties came out early in September. It has caused quite the controversy, and I can tell you
Mm.
right now, as a father, that's I had initially no interest in watching this film. I've said it in other places, but for journalistic integrity, I have to check out things that might be facing the youth of not only America but across the world. What you see is an image up here. There are two images. There's a poster for on the left how it was advertised in the United States, and the poster on the right is how it was advertised in France. So really, to me, that makes a statement of what they think about American culture and what attracts American culture. And but To the panelists that have joined me, feel free to introduce yourselves when I stop speaking. Would it have made a difference anyway? My answer
Well,
right now is clear, flat out no. It would not have made a difference.
well, this is Roger, and you know, we checked this out
I
because there was some controversy going along with
it
this
was a hard
particular.
film to
Oh, go ahead, Donnie. Go ahead.
hard
Donnie's kind of organ.
want to give. Oh, come back to me. Come back to me. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Well, let me say this. Yeah, you know what? We did check out this film because we heard a little bit controversy going on with it, but you really can't say nothing about something if you don't actually take the time out to actually watch it. Now, I never actually saw the advertising poster. That's a piece of crap. That's what I'm saying. That one on the left, that was bad. Now that piece of advertising looks somewhat decent, but the one on the left,
Okay,
uh, yeah,
I'll go back to it.
yeah, no, that's a decent piece of advertisement, but it don't let you know what that film is about. That one on the left right there, that kind of give you an idea of the film, and it was a trash film that should never been put together, in my opinion.
Mm. I mean, the argument is that they keep saying is that there's just some kind of message in the film, and the way it was advertised in America is what caused the controversy and the outrage. Um,
Well,
okay.
let me say this: this film, in my opinion, was simply a trash movie. The movie just wasn't good at all.
Mm.
Even if you take away all the controversy stuff, the movie didn't go in any real clear direction, in my opinion. What was the goal of the actual, like, what was the goal of the characters? Did they actually reach their goal? Did they surpass something? Did they overcome something? No, this was a trash film, in my opinion.
Mm.
Uh,
Just,
yeah, this shit's wild. What about Dav? What Dav? What you think is the only woman here?
I agree with Roger. The movie was trash. Um, I was disappointed because I have a niece that's 12, and if I caught her doing half the shit that was in this movie, I would have broke her. Um,
I break you.
I feel like the director was trying to tell people that kids are exposed to this shit already, TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. So why are we tripping? The fact that she had kids doing what adults do, the fact that the movie was TVMA for mature, that right there, it's baffling. Um, that she put all this together thinking that someone was going to say, "Oh, I get the picture. Kids are exposed to all." No, no. What I got out of this movie is that she's saying that these girls dancing and twerking and acting like hoes is what we see already. I have not seen girls of this age doing this, and if I did, I would say something. I wouldn't want my family exposed to anything like this. I wouldn't want if I had a daughter and I caught her doing this. I would catch a case because first of all, the main character in the movie, her being exposed to a lot of, sexual things and getting hurt by her mom saying I'm gonna kill you and stuff like that. It's like they're saying that that's what we are. No, it's not what we are. Um, as a woman, I was disgusted. When I first started watching it, after the first 10 minutes, I stopped. I had to take a break. And then I had to go back and watch the rest because in order for me to give an honest feedback, I had to watch the whole thing like Roger said. But I was disgusted. I would never watch that movie again. I wouldn't recommend anyone watch that movie. I wouldn't. I think the director should be locked up, even in the way that they casted it. 650 girls popping their ass. Who's popping their ass the best? These are kids we're talking about. None of these girls are grown. 650 girls all popping their ass. Okay, I want her. I want her. I want her. Like, that's how they were picked. That's disgusting, bro. Like, if the director was a man, because they're saying the director was a woman who had a movie in the past in 2016 that did well, so she felt like this will be good. She also consulted a psychologist to make sure that this is what girls are really doing at this age. Are you kidding me? So I would give the movie 4 thumbs down, even though I only have 2. That's how bad it was.
So you pulling your shoes off on this one?
Yep.
Well, you know what? Well,
right.
go ahead, Donnie. Go ahead.
It was something that Roger pointed out to me that I didn't even notice, probably because I was kind of not really watching this movie in the beginning. But Daphne said it was TVMA, right? That's what the rating was?
Yep.
Roger, what did you see in the beginning part of the movie?
Well, there was a scene where these girls, which I believe they were supposed to be like 16 years old. And
I tried. So after that part of the movie, I tried to figure out their age, and what leads me to believe that they were not 16 years old is the fact that they were it looks like they were in the same school as the other girls. Maybe they were older, but it looks like they were in the same school. Now, I don't know how France's school system works, but I'm not thinking 11 to 16, 17 is going to be in that same little scenario. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I thought, because you make a good point there, because I knew they were idolizing these girls or whatever. But now that you think about it, they did kind of seem like they were in the same school. But see, my issue was that they showed it like the girls were watching a videotape. Now, one of the older girls that they looked up to, she flashed her titty. So my thing is like, that's literally child pornography. Like, what are we doing here? Now, I don't know the age of the actor or anything like that, but even if that was an actual
14.
adult.
She's 14.
The one that flashed her titty?
No, I'm sorry. The main character. I'm sorry. The main character.
The
girl right
here.
Okay.
So in real life, she's 14, but
yes.
and she played an 11-year-old. I feel it's creepy all the way around, but
it's still bad because my thing is the 11-year-old characters was watching a film of who I believe was 16-year-old characters, and one flashed a titty. And even though it wasn't a long time, my thing is like, why are we advertising child pornography? And I don't want to hear that it's from France, because if it's on the American system, why is it here? Right. And why is it doing that? Why wasn't that edited out or something?
And Roger, the one that flashed, she's 12 in real life.
Oh hell no! Don't 12, no.
12 years old.
It just gets worse.
Yep.
How in the heck? So how is this movie on? No, there's no. You got to be wrong about that. You got 12, to be wrong.
And it's reportedly the youngest cast member at 12 years old. That's what it says.
Oh hell no! So here's my question: why is it still on Netflix?
Yeah, that's the question just popped in my head.
600,000 signatures to get it off, and it's still on there. And think about it. They made almost $1 million. They made almost $1 million when they got released out here. Think about that.
Doesn't matter, but the amount of signatures.
That's how disgusting it is.
No, but what I'm saying is it shouldn't matter the amount of signatures that are on this movie. That's child pornography. There's no way else to cut it. So
if R. Kelly was in it, it would have got shut down.
Yeah, that movie shouldn't be there.
Anything like that, if it would have been.
R. Kelly had to sneak a cell phone into his cell to watch this movie.
But my thing is the fact that it was. Now, what if a black man was the director of this whole thing? It wouldn't have even went far. The trailer would have got shut down. It wouldn't have went that far. So the fact that they allowed it to be featured out here, it's pathetic. To me, it's disgusting. And these are kids. Like the main character taking a picture of her middle part and posting it online. That part really,
listen.
Well, I don't want to be explicit, but she took a picture of her shit. That really bothered the fuck out of me. Bothered me. And then the kid called her a whore because she was dressed like a whore in school. Like, it's so many things that piss me off about this movie. I'm getting mad again. It made me
Well,
mad.
yeah, the scene where
Wow.
they were freezing, I think it just flashed across the screen when she walked to school, and those little girls kind of one little main little girl, the little gang leader or whatever, walked past her in a tight little outfit on. I think it was a little dress and little baby heels, and it was her other little friends, and they were all in little tight little outfits and baby heels. That right there was enough for me to go, yeah, they should burn this movie. And this was before they really got into the twerking aspect of the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah. I'm with Daphne. This is a movie I throw in the one time club. Another film like that with me is 12 Years a Slave. Another film like that with me is Precious. This is the one time club. I had no interest in watching this film in the first place. I
Facts.
did it for the channel, and I will never ever watch this film again. Me having a very young daughter, I would no, no.
I can honestly say, with all the stuff that I've seen, this is literally the worst movie I've seen in my life.
Mm.
The absolute worst. Even the ones that was worth terrible production and all this, it had enough in here that this is justifiably the worst movie I ever seen in my life. The girl had an issue with her father, who for whatever reason they just wasn't showing in there. They gave no reason why. The father just wasn't around. They didn't explain it. They didn't explain her issue with her daddy. So you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Then
they
she was
kind of
supposed to
did.
be.
They kind of did.
I
Let me stop
mean,
you right there.
not really though. But go ahead.
The issue with the father is he was off in Senegal, and he was getting another wife. So ultimately, what ended up happening is the mother found out, and the little girl wasn't supposed to be in the room, and she heard her mother crying over it. So that's what made her kind of rush towards her rebellious stage. And that's why we don't see the father. The father was going out to get him another wife. That's why in a part of the movie they go into this new room, and the room is made up and looks really nice. That's because it was for his new woman. So the little girl was lashing out. We don't see the father. The focus of the movie ends up towards them having the wedding, and she doesn't really want to participate. It's a lot going on, but they basically did the father as they low key kind of made him, scumbag. Even though that having a second wife is culturally acceptable and is a thing for them. So it is what it
Yeah.
is.
What was he? That's what my whole point was. The father didn't do nothing wrong because the girl was playing a Muslim girl. Now they already was bogus for having the quote unquote sweet little Muslim girl doing all that nonsense that it didn't make no sense for her to be doing. But then to actually, that was like the director taking a dump on the Muslim culture. A Muslim man getting a second wife is not no crazy thing in their culture. That's just regular stuff.
Yeah.
So to me, that's
sound like they
what
added a touch of feminism to this.
it was a big touch in there. It was a big touch in there, if you ask me, because I've seen it all throughout the film. And my thing is, him getting a second wife in their culture, there's no way you can tell me that made that little girl do anything, because that's their culture. That's what she knows. She's supposed to be an 11-year-old girl. That's her life.
Yeah, lots of issues. Now, if I could pick an antagonist, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm just blaming the child, but the character that Ami shaped up to be, I didn't like her very much by the end of the film. I mean, it was a lot of things. The taking a picture part was pretty bad. At first, I thought she was trying to get old boy fucked up.
Yeah, me too.
But pushing the girl in the river,
Yep.
in the canal, and
Yep.
almost
Watching
killing
her
her.
damn near drown. Right.
Yeah,
She
so
saw
you know
she
what?
had that lifeline. She's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Let me go get
You
my
know what?
wings out."
I wasn't too opposed to that. You stole my spot on the team. You can go. You can go.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
the only issue with
Crazy.
that is that you showing a kid potentially killing another kid. That's my only
Right.
issue with that. If
Right.
that was adult stuff, understandable. It's a movie, but we don't need to portray kids almost killing another kid. Like, I
Right.
don't know who signed off on this for real. Like, this is terrible.
I said the same
Yeah,
thing. Or when the boy called her a whore and she stabbed him, she stuck that thing in his hand. I'm like, she violent as hell. Is that what they saying that's what we are? Like, she was crazy in this movie.
Based
And
on
why did it have to be her? Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm disappointed. I really am, and I feel like this movie should not have went this far, and it did, and it's still on Netflix. Like to know that it's still there, it's crazy. You ask yourself how is it still there? It's a predator's dream. I know a
Yeah, it
predator
is.
watched this and is watching it over and over again. Like yes, I love this. Like why?
Yeah, because
Ugh.
the final dance scene,
Oh
I
my
like it made
gosh.
me clench my teeth. I was sitting in here going, because even the people that's what killed me. Even the people in the crowd of the movie was like, "What the fuck are we?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep. I
How
saw
did we
those
get? How
reactions
did
too.
the extra? How did we get extras for this? They said we could get a little cheese and some shit, but I wasn't expecting this little shit."
They was going low. They was like their dance was similar to what we see like compared to like what we see Meg Thee Stallion do. Just that she's a
Uh,
woman with curves. At the end of the day,
And
that's why I said these women, all these rappers that are out right now, their only gimmick is sex. Like they're
and
not even
and
about the
let me say
craft
this:
anymore. It's about what we can sell. Sex sells. And at
the
the end of the
point
day,
of
these
that
go
scene,
ahead.
the point of that scene was to make the little girl come to a realization, and the realization that what she was doing was a little too grown and she was out of a child's place. I understand that you wanted to kind of illustrate that with them doing some dance moves. The problem I have with it is the content of the dance moves. They went super far. They went real deep into the hole, and they did it for a long. It was an extendedly like it was a scene that really only took a minute. This scene, how long would you say this scene was going for that they was dancing up on that stage? It was like three or
Forever.
four minutes to them. They was really up there.
I
It
think
was
so.
too long,
They kept showing the crowd. They kept turning around and popping their backs because they didn't have any. It's like
and they
them little shorts, like everything about it was just disgusting. It made me
the
uncomfortable.
cuties,
And they're
and
not,
then they
it's not
ran
cute.
outside
It's
and they
not cute.
started doing like a normal dance, and I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. And then they started popping and like extended popping and hitting. I said, oh hell no, this is too much.
Yeah,
Yep.
I used the 10-second fast forward feature on because I turned my head away
Yep.
quite a bit because like the stairwell scene where they were
Oh
dancing on the
man.
stairwell.
Yeah.
That's one of the scenes I used it on. It was like wow, I just yeah, I was clenching my teeth on that.
And and
And
we
let me say this too, because this what really bothered me about the film. Y'all saw how the film ended, right? Okay.
Yep.
There was
she ran
no
back to
real
be a child.
message. But there was no real message in this film. This was like we gonna watch these young girls acting like hoes for a film that actually serves no actual purpose. Like the movie itself, you know what I'm saying? If forget all the extra sexualization of these small children, there was no actual story. There was nothing actually being done, nothing being accomplished with this movie. The people who put this movie together is just some sick people who wanted to put a sick movie together.
Mm.
That's
So
how I saw it. Did y'all see any message in this movie or any storyline
I
that,
was
that made
well,
sense
I
at
was
all?
well,
it was
yeah,
a very veiled message. It was very thin. It was very loose, and I think that one of the things that really bothered me about this movie was because I felt like they used that as an excuse to make this crazy shit. I think she wanted to be shocking, more so than have a quote unquote message. But one of the things that really got me was they had these phones and they were posting these videos up and getting likes. Who the fuck was clicking like on these?
mm,
Was this a bunch of grown men? Or are you trying to portray like is this the culture in France? Because I've been to France.
they
I don't remember seeing no little girls just running around here. Now I know the UK, the EU in general has a low what is it? They have a low standard when it comes to age of consent. I think some of them are like 14, some of them are 15. I think France in particular is like 14 or 15. What is the end game of this? Because if you have a country that has a 14-year-old consent age and you have these girls pretending to be 11, are you guys trying to lower it? Are you guys trying to make a point to say that 11 is fair game? I mean, what I just want to know what the real message that she was really saying with this.
yeah the
None that were good. None that were
none at
good.
all because no what there were a lot of messages in it. Maybe not the messages she said she was trying to send, But one of those messages that is that women can learn to use sex to manipulate. The the scene in the fun house or whatever that was, where they got stopped by the security guards.
Oh God, the pervert. Yeah, and he looked like a pervert. That
Wow.
shit. Oh my God.
Well,
Wow.
well, let's keep it real. This movie was put together in a way that there was no message in it that wasn't meant to be sent.
And there was
Every message in this movie was meant to be sent. It's just none of them were good.
and no
And,
accountability for the character who caused all the trouble in the end.
Nope.
None.
This movie
and
was
my
made to make money, period. I mean, she knew that with that trailer, people were going to be like, oh, this is bad. We're going to start boycotting. And all it did was draw more attention to the movie. So when it was released, it was trending number one. Number
Yeah.
one, it was trending. It did everything the director wanted it to do. She did
I
all this
wonder
on
what
purpose. She had an agenda.
the play
This will
count
make money.
was.
This will make money. And that's what she did. She's sick and she didn't deserve any of that money. What she needs to do is never direct anything again. That's my opinion. But
Okay,
her whole
but
plan was to make it so raunchy in that trailer that it make people say, "Oh, I hate it." But those same people that said they hate it were watching that shit. That's why I was number one on Netflix. Think about
yeah,
that.
that was a ploy to draw attention without
Exactly.
spending a bunch of money in advertising dollars. That's yeah,
Exactly.
that's a slick way. That was just a slick move.
Yep.
The lady trash though. Whoever
She is
directed this, she a piece of
okay, let me
trash.
say her name. Let me say her name. Her name
trash.
is
Her name is
her name
Trash.
is yeah, trash, but her name is Mamanat Ducre. She's a French film director.
Mm.
Mama Nadu Correa. I wonder if she's
And let me say this.
Senegalese.
The budget was $4 million.
How the
That's the
hell
budget.
they
$4
spent it
million.
all
I
on baby smut clothes,
don't know what they did. Clothes are like they just put
baby
some shit
stripper
together
clothes.
and stapled it.
Yeah, I want to touch.
$4
I want
million
to touch.
for that?
I want to touch on this too because I saw this quite in social media and with some celebrities too. This one right here is Tessa Thompson. She actually defended the movie.
Of
Why?
Did you
course she
watch the
did.
movie?
Is she the one that
Why?
was
Of
in
course she
Creed?
did.
Why
Is this
would?
the girl that was
Yes,
in Creed?
yes.
Oh, I don't like
That's
her
her.
no more. I don't like her
She's
no more.
the big hit girl in Thor: Love and Thunder. She's the big
Wow.
hit girl.
And she was defending it. How so?
Not Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor Ragnarok.
Well, she'll be in Thor: Love and Thunder, but yeah.
Mm,
How was she defending it?
I mean, she was. I mean, let me see what's specific. Let me look it up real quick. So,
Well, yeah, you know what?
She don't
Because
need to
my
be in
thing
no more
is,
movies.
not no. Well, hold on. Before I condemn her, my thing is because a lot of women just back stuff because women are involved, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
she was just trying to back this director because the woman directed it. My thing is, did she see the movie and did she know what the movie was about? Instead of
well,
just saying, "Hey, let this woman have her freedom of speech." Because if you see this movie and you cool with this movie, yeah, you kind of messed up.
okay. Let me
I
show
mean,
you.
this
Good
movie
question.
wouldn't have been bad had these girls been 15 or 16. This movie would not have been the
What?
conversation we're having now.
No, it would have still been bad if they were 15 or 16. They should have been 18 playing the role of a kid, and I would have been okay with
Yeah,
that.
no,
But
I mean that's clear.
15 or
But
16,
if
they're
they,
still a kid.
we're
They
talking
can't
about
buy
the, we're
liquor.
talking
They
about the
can't play the
character.
lottery. They're still
We're talking
kids.
about the characters, right? So if the characters were 15 or 16,
Okay, I'm sorry.
uh,
I thought you meant if their real age was 15 or 16.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
My
no. The
bad.
characters, yeah, if they were 50, this movie wouldn't have been as bad. It still would have been controversial, but the
Okay.
movie would not have been as bad because 15 and 16-year-olds, whether we like it or not, are out here actively doing this. When I was 16, girls was out there in my time frame, in our time frame, getting it
Right.
in. So I can't imagine what they're doing now. However, 11, that's what they were, like 11 and 10 in
Well, the
this
one that
movie.
flashed her boobs in real life, she's 12. So if she even played an 11
Jesus
year old, that makes it
Christ.
even worse. She played an 11 year old, but she's really 12 and she flashed her breasts. Like, come on. Come on. Like, how?
But
How
my
did this
thing
movie
is,
make it?
child pornography is supposed to be illegal. I've
You're right.
heard cases where kids they done went after kids for like a girl would send a guy a picture, but since
Yeah.
they're both teenagers, they're still children, but because they're minors, which
Right.
means the boy had child pornography in his phone. So if you can go after a boy for sending text messages to his girlfriend, it turns sexual, and they send pictures to each other. then how on earth is this on Netflix? That don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
Check this out. This trick said that Cuties is a beautiful film. I'm disappointed how it was positioned in terms of marketing. I understand the response of everybody, but it doesn't speak to the film I saw. That's what that bitch said, Tessa. So she's
Yes.
saying it's a
It
beautiful
was
film. This
it
bitch needs
was
to be
She
a
didn't even
canceled.
watch the movie.
She didn't
She
watch
didn't
that
even
movie.
watch this
Ain't no
movie.
way she watched that same movie we watched. You
Yeah.
talking about a
it
beautiful
was
film.
it was a beautiful film. And when the movie started and you saw the name Cuties, and then that was it. As soon as the
Exactly.
film actually started, the shit
Let me
was
tell you
lost.
something. Let me tell you something.
She lying. Ain't no way.
Let me tell you something.
Go
Let me
ahead.
tell you something. After the first laundry room scene, I was already saying this movie is too long.
That's when I cut the shit off. I was like, oh nah,
This movie
no,
is far too long. Oh
because
my!
I knew the girl was like 11 or 12. I was like, why is she really in here like this? Like really going hard. And what is the purpose of this shit? Like why am I watching it? You know what? I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and go do something else. And that's when I cut the movie off. That's when you guys were like, yeah, you gotta do the review. Let's do the all right. But that instantly made me cringe. And then you go down further into it and you see them on the stairs putting their hands. Oh my god! It just
Oh,
it's
yeah,
bad.
She didn't
yeah,
see the
it's
same
very
film. I agree with
bad.
you.
Now,
No,
when
I think she just lying. I think Tessa Thompson just lying. I don't think she watched that movie at all. Point blank. I'm just keeping it real. I don't think she watched that movie. I think she made a political statement. Think she's helping some type of agenda to help women do films or something like that because she's a woman in the film world. Yeah, she ain't watched that movie. Cause wasn't nothing beautiful about that movie. Nothing.
And check this
But
out.
Kim,
Check this out. She actually said, you know how it won an award with Sundance, which is beyond me. But one of her fans, because she said Netflix didn't make the movie, but she's saying we shouldn't hold Netflix accountable for using that platform to show that damn movie, right? So she was like, her fan was like, I love you, but what? She gonna say, have you seen the film? And the dude said, no, I'm sorry, I don't watch child porn. That's exactly what it was.
uh-huh. So
So
after
for her
I
to
that,
think I
say,
think
go ahead.
necessary. I don't think necessarily Netflix should always be accountable for the things that they put on their platform. However, they once they become aware of what the problem is, and they have enough money to have people actually research and make sure that things are going through. But once they become aware of a problem, that's when it should be, hey, listen, we're gonna have to go ahead and pull this off our serverware. The money we promise you can't do it. This shit is crazy because you know what? They probably get millions of movies a month, so it's probably an insane process for them to go through and make sure that everything fits snuff, right? But once you become aware of what a problem is, it shouldn't be you changing the description to make it feel better. It shouldn't be you changing the picture on the Netflix image search so that it looks better. It should be yanked off the server.
hmm,
So you're telling me that Netflix shouldn't be held accountable? I disagree. I think they
No,
should
no, no, no,
be.
no. I said until they become aware of something, because they can't. Like, you have millions of movies on that server, so I
No,
can't.
but they don't have millions of movies that release every day. They usually release
They,
old shit from the 90s talking about recently added. It's old shit.
they
So when
have
they get
recently
something
added,
I
but
new,
think
they.
I know they got somebody that goes through what they're about to feature on Netflix.
I don't think so. I think they get a
I think
lot of
they do. What do
movies,
you
and
think the
they.
trailer is for?
I
They
think
know
they have
what's
the
coming
trailer.
up.
I think they have a lot of trailers to run through, and I think they have a lot of movies.
But
And
listen to
in,
what
in
I'm saying,
addition to a lot
Devin.
of movies, you have a
They don't
different
post new
regions.
movies like that on Netflix. It's usually old shit that they're talking about recently added. It's a movie from the 90s. What I'm saying is when it's a new feature, it's something that's going to be at the top that they expect to do well. I know they run that through a screening process, bro. You mean to tell me if R. Kelly came out with a documentary, I'm Not Guilty, you think they would air that on Netflix? I don't think they would. They say hell fucking no, right?
I
Think about it.
so I think R. Kelly brings a lot of attention to it, but you have some random ass movie out of X amount. They might not know exactly what it is, or maybe it did so well that the person who screened it didn't quite give them an accurate depiction of what's going on in the movie. So that I don't know.
Okay, so
I
let me
think
ask you
once
this. When people started boycotting Netflix, you don't think they took the time to watch the shit? Yes, I know somebody watched that movie from beginning to end, and yet it is still on Netflix. Why do you
well
think
again
no?
that's why I say once they become aware of these issues and they know it's problematic, it should have been pulled from the server.
But it hasn't been. So why aren't we holding Netflix accountable? Is what I'm saying.
Well, at the point we're at, if the little girl who's 12 showed her nipple on goddamn Netflix, they
Chris
Well,
Hansen should have
bro,
came right from around the corner and been like, "What's going on?"
somebody showed the somebody showed the nipple. It was a flash, but somebody showed the nipple.
That's crazy. And it's probably a predator who took the picture of it and was like, "Yes, this was
but
too.
you,
Right.
This
but
It's
was too
probably a
easy
gang
right
of
here."
people. A gang of
even
people
in the
paused that
film,
movie right there. A gang of people did it. We don't
Hey,
know who it is, but somebody did it.
but let
even
me.
in the film, you have some creepy people. So, like you said earlier, the security guard, when they first got caught by the security guard, I was like, oh, they bogus for that. But the security guard, they gonna call their mom, and it's gonna be a wrap. It's gonna be a lesson learned. But I didn't expect for the bald dude to come around the corner looking like Creepy Creeperson and be like,
Creepy
oh well,
creepers.
y'all can dance. Let me see. Oh yeah, y'all can go. Just go ahead and go. First off, that was creepy as hell. The other second thing that made me go, oh, this movie is OG tripped out, is when they got to the dance, the contest, and there was the main judge in the middle. Every time you saw his face,
Yep,
his head was cocked to the side like he was pleased or happy about some situation.
I
And then
saw
you
the
saw
same
him at
thing.
the end, and he had a little bit of a smirk with his head to
Yep,
the side.
I was
I
about to
said,
say
I'm
that.
over it.
I
Yeah,
never
yeah,
forget that face
I'm
he
over
made.
this.
Mm.
I know that's a predator face. I've seen it so many times on To Catch a Predator. That same little smirk. They like what they saw, and I don't think that was acting. I think that was genuine. That made me feel like, ugh, like this dude really liked this shit. Like it ain't acting no more. It's real. Crazy.
Well, you know what? I'm ready to cut this one short because I'm tired of giving this movie attention. Honestly, because this movie sucked, and I don't think nobody should watch this movie. Real talk.
Please
I just
don't.
don't think nobody should watch this movie.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. We did it so you don't have to. There's not a real message to this film. This film is cringe.
Now let me
Don't
ask y'all
watch it.
this, because I've heard a lot of this too in regards to this movie. People were saying, "What's the difference between cuties and these child pageants? How they dress these kids up, making them look grown, blowing kisses, and doing cute little dances." I
I
think they're
don't go
I
to
both
think that
child
shit's
pageant.
disgusting.
creepy too.
I think
I
they're
think that
Yeah,
both
shit's
I,
creepy
creepy.
too.
Yeah,
that,
I want to make sure
I
we're on the
would
same
assume.
page.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I would assume a child pageant is creepy because I don't go to child pageants. I have no interest in going to child pageants. I'll probably die before I ever go to a child pageant. Just being realistic. So it's probably gonna never happen with me. But this movie was terrible. There was no real agenda. There was no actual good storyline to even say. They didn't even go through the trouble of putting a good movie together to say why we had to put all this bad stuff in it. They didn't
Right.
even do that. They just put a bunch of bad stuff with no real storyline and said, "Here you go."
I
All
agree.
right. As
And
far as
I think the most disgusting part about this is that even when this movie first came out and they were talking about it last month, they had like a hashtag cuties, and people were actually screenshotting the nudity that they saw and were circling it and
There
zooming
was
in like,
nudity.
this is an ass shot. This is like a nipple. Like it was weird shit that I didn't even see. So they had to really be watching that shit. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm done. I'm
Mm.
done.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
well,
Yeah.
well. Since Daphne confirmed it, my thing is this: if we don't know nothing else, y'all, they literally put child pornography in it.
I
There's no
agree.
reason for you to. So there's no reason for anybody who has not already seen this to click on and watch a movie that they literally put child pornography in. There's no reason for you to do that.
I agree.
If if there was a message they were trying to push, it was still the wrong message. Society is making us do this.
Hmm.
Mm, No, 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 it's not. What needs to happen? The lesson at the end of the day is personal accountability.
Yep.
Like there's and besides all that, I wish people, even though child pageants are kind of creepy, people need to stop using straw man arguments because
Yep. You're right.
I'm sure the answer that they were looking for was they were gonna look they brought up child pageants so people could make excuses.
Justifying it. Right.
Yeah, to justify this film right here. There is no way to justify this film.
I
Period.
think they brought up the because if my understanding correct, child pageants probably started off with like cute little girls in cute little dresses.
Yep. No
Uh,
makeup, just regular kids in kids' clothes. You're right.
and I think these people got so fierce because I've seen what is it, Honey Boo Boo, where the kids get fake teeth
Yep.
and they do all
Yep.
kind of craziness. And my
Yep.
thing is, and I think the best thing that kind of highlighted what a child pageant was is, did you ever see Bad Grandpa?
Yep. I did.
So in Bad Grandpa, for those who don't know, it was a tale of it was like a Jackass production, but it was a little boy and Johnny Knoxville is dressed up as an old man. He made his little boy dress up as a little girl and do a child pageant. She came out in the child pageant and she and she did a little cute little routine, and then all of a sudden ripped her shirt off to have like a bikini on and do this crazy sexy outfit dance, and all the people in the pageant was like, oh, this is too far. And that's what I think of every time I see or hear of a child pageant. It's too far. Y'all just don't want to admit it because there's no pole involved.
Right.
Well, I don't know how you justify having a child pageant, but my thing is, no matter what people say about child pageants, there was no good reason to put this movie together. And the fact that they didn't even give the audience as much respect to say, hey, we're going to put a nice storyline together, and then we're going to put a bunch of crap attached to the storyline so we can justify the crap that's in the movie. See, that would I can at least understand somebody trying to get that across. But when you don't even go through the trouble of making a movie good, and you just throwing crap in there because you on your obviously a feminist agenda, man, you a sick person. And
I agree.
plus, you actually had child pornography in there. I'm gonna stress that you stuck child pornography in the film. You a sick person. Period.
Okay. I agree. And at first, like I said, we weren't really watching it that deep. It sounds like we all just skimmed through it, right? And a lot of it left our memory. Some parts stayed and some didn't. But for people to actually zoom in and analyze parts that we missed, I think that's what makes it like even more trash, that people took the time to say, oh, this is breast. Like, these are kids. And people were saying, if you're letting your kids watch this movie, understand that there's nudity in it. Like, this is supposed to be a child movie and there's nudity in it. I don't understand how it's still on Netflix, even today.
Is that how it's marketed as a child movie? Because I don't see how you do that.
I don't either. And that's why and you know what? That poster that they had originally, and then the one that you posted of them just having fun with life, they only did that because people questioned the poster. No one questioned the movie. It was the poster. Like, what? So then they came out with the nice poster, making it look like they're having a ball. And that ain't nothing what the movie is about. It's a total different movie that you watch. It does not match that poster. It's not kids being kids. It's kids acting like hoes. Period.
It was nothing cute about this film. Nothing
cute,
at all.
Cuties. Trash. It should have been called trash. I think we should.
Well, I think a lot of people had issues with this movie before it even come out, right? So my understanding is this movie was hot before it even come out, and then the trailer hit. Because if this movie is French, chances are it was probably already released
January
in France.
23rd. Correct. January 23rd
of this year.
Yes.
In theaters or on DVD?
No, it was released the Sundance Film Festival. That's when it was released, January 23rd.
So yeah, the Sundance Film Festival, they do a lot of weird stuff that doesn't always translate. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it seems like the undertone is occultist. Like there's some underworld shit going on, but that's for that's kind of for people with tinfoil hats. But like from the things that we hear in the controversies in the news, this kind of thing seems to be matching up with that.
Yep.
Okay, can we say this, because we've been on for 38 minutes about a horrible movie. This movie is horrible. Nobody needs to watch this movie. If you're watching this movie, you need to stop, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And you definitely shouldn't let your kids see this movie.
Yeah. Absolutely, should not let your kids all our damn doors.
Yeah, there's no good reason for anybody to continue to support this film, and you heard it here. So you ain't got to wonder no more. It's every bit of trash as they said it was. You ain't got to wonder no more.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
So if we were to give the movie a rating, we would give it a bomb. There's no need to watch this film, and I think we expressed that enough. So at the end of the day, Cuties on Netflix, don't.
I like how you put that out there. Don't even watch the trailer. Don't even When you see it on Netflix, keep going, keep scrolling through.
Go.
I wish we can remove titles off of Netflix because that one would be
That-
gone. I mean, I thought How High 2 was the worst movie I ever seen in my life. I'll watch that movie 10 more times right now. And that movie was trash too. But I
but
give that
I've
movie 2 thumbs up over this one.
I've watched some awful movies that were with very low budgets, bad acting, and the whole
Right.
enchilada. And none of these movies was worse than this one. This is the worst movie I've seen in my life.
I agree.
Yeah, even for to have a movie like Harriet existing. Harriet.
I
Man.
would still choose
Man.
Harriet over this one, and I couldn't stand that movie.
Yeah. Well, all right. It's
Yeah.
it's
That
no
was
more.
hard to say, huh, Roger? Because Harriet was. Roger said that with
Horrible.
pride. I would still watch it right now. Harriet with some popcorn over this one.
Absolutely, that was
That was hard to
trash.
say.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
You know
I
what
would
though?
almost
This
watch.
movie is so bad it wasn't even that hard to say.
I would almost watch Captain Marvel twice.
Oh,
Y'all crazy. Look.
now you know. That being
Yeah.
said. How
Johnny,
many-
you're a hater now. Johnny, you hate.
all right. All right. All right.
So let's see how long they stay on Netflix before they finally remove it.
All right, so we're done. I think we're pretty much done talking about cuties for now. Let me just say a couple of things. Just about this channel, the Blakk Dimension. Just also make sure that you tune in to our MCU Infinity 23, where we cover the and rank the 23 MCU films that make up the Infinity Saga. Our next episode will be Iron Man 2, so just be on the lookout. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And we like to give a special thanks to our special guest, because this show is hosted by the habitual line steppers. So that's all three of us gentlemen. But we got our special guest here. So the ninja assassin herself. We appreciate you for coming along for the ride.
Thank you for bringing me on. And like I said, if any woman thinks that you guys are wrong for watching the movie and saying you hate it, as a woman myself, I agree with everybody with what y'all said on this panel. Like I said, I have a niece that's 12, and she would not live to see 13 if she was in this movie. I would really try to hurt her. And I hate to say that, but I have high hopes. It's how you raise your kid. Every kid is not like the kids we saw in that movie. I feel like somebody had a sick mind and thought of a quick way to make money and took their iPhone and just filmed it with an iPhone and said, okay, we're going to release it on Netflix. So as a woman, I agree with what y'all said on this panel, and I think that this movie should not be watched. And if you have kids, keep them away from this. Keep them away from this movie because it's only going to get them ideas and make them think that this is cute and this is the life. It ain't. Because in real life, it don't happen like that. It don't. They will be kidnapped. They will be sold. It is not a game. It is not a game. So if women think this is cute and, oh, my baby going to be the next cutie, okay, go ahead and try that and see what happens.
Yeah, thanks again, Daphne. You kept us from looking like pedophiles this episode.
Yeah.
So, Chris Hansen is not calling us. He might be outside Roger's door, but it ain't got nothing to do with me. Right?
Want some cookies? He come right around that corner. I got the milk.
But this was a hard movie to watch. I don't suggest it. It's whew. But yeah, so appreciate y'all for tuning in, peoples.
All right. Well, and on the final note, if you haven't, if you don't understand or realize is that the disclaimer that we've thrown out over and over again, we did this just for journalistic integrity. None of us watched this for enjoyment. And keep in mind that there's other YouTubers and other people who have reviewed this film and exercise the same integrity, but no rewatch value here at all. So don't watch this film. Don't give it any light. Don't anything. In fact, they probably need to launch an investigation on the people who made this film. I'm talking about hard drives and everything. So I mean, but anyway, take it how you want to take it. The sad part about it is some people actually think that this film is necessary, but hopefully I never run into those people, and hopefully I don't know who those people are or never find out either. So anyway, this is Kev, and special thanks to Donnie, Roger, and especially to Ninja Assassin, our celebrity. This is the Blakk Dimension. This is you've been pulled into the Blakk Dimension, and I think that for this particular episode, the Blakk Dimension will give you a reprieve and let you go. But otherwise, good luck finding your way out. Peace.